Senior Anderson,
Yeah.
what is our first one, sir?
Our first one is the Epilogue from Daft Punk.
Man, that hit me in the feels when I saw that,
That
dude.
fucking hurt when I saw that.
Oh man, I watched that video.
Work.
Oh man,
that shit dropped in midday, right in the middle of work.
Man
too.
tier, yeah.
If you didn't get a chance to check it out, literally go to any Daft Punk social media, go to their YouTube page. It's on there, and it's like an 8-minute long video. But if you've listened to Daft Punk as long as I know we have, because like Daft Punk is really just timeless. Like they've been around forever, but they are really timeless with their music.
Yeah, they revolutionized the whole industry.
Yeah,
that's how timeless they are.
And I'll say, like, watching that video, especially the removal and then the pull down and walk away.
Oh god, the explosion.
Well, I wasn't gonna spoil it, but hey, yeah.
I just said it was an explosion. I don't know what the explosion was about.
But no, that when I saw that, I was just like, bruh, like, oof. That like I wasn't. It was like this week's episode of WandaVision. Wasn't prepared for it.
I have not seen that yet. No spoilers, please.
I have not seen anything of WandaVision.
Don't drop a spoiler in the chat. If you drop a spoiler in the chat, you're getting banned instantly. Yeah. We don't play the spoiler game around here.
Born for Gaming in here saying, can he say bruh again?
Bruh.
Just made that man nut.
These are my friends.
Wouldn't that be something? If someone fucking, when they nut, they just scream like Chewbacca. That'd be fucking horrifying.
Those are my friends, apparently.
Bruh. Yep.
Ghosty's like, and I'm out.
How to clear out a chat in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Woo!
Bye, Ghosty. Appreciate it.
Good to see you. Good to see you. But no, like, so if you haven't listened to Daft Punk, one of their biggest things that, at least for everyone in the mainstream realm of things, would know them from was they completely, and I'm fairly certain I'm not mistaken here, but they completely wrote and mastered the soundtrack to Tron Legacy, which is, of course, a video game movie, and a phenomenal video game movie at that, as well as the original Tron. But my God, that, like, there's one thing I enjoy about movies, and that's when the music can really, like, tell the narrative as you go through it. Bruh.
Yeah.
Hey, said it again.
Yeah, and I would say the thing they're most known for, at least in like mainstream without video games and stuff like that, is their album Random Access Memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that shit, when it dropped, was fucking fire.
It's funny, I was reading a little forum post about them breaking up, because I was just like, why, like, trying to get any nugget I could about, like, why are they?
It was just out of nowhere, like.
Yeah, like there was no. I mean, of course they don't. I mean, the whole gig is to not talk, but like, there was nothing. There was no news break. There was no. It was literally one morning you woke up and there's a video that just says Epilogue on this thumbnail, and you're like,
oh shit! Please don't be what I'm thinking it is.
Yeah, and we're all just like, what? Huh? And I mean, I was watching. I'm thinking like, oh, fat, they're about to drop a new album. Dope.
Nah, it was straight up, we're done.
Nope.
Later, guys.
Yeah.
It's been real.
And again, if you haven't yet, definitely go check that video out.
It is a fantastic video.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a fan of their music. But, those are really some pioneers for video game music, because a lot of what they do, a lot of the stuff they have is helps inspire a lot of what you see in certain video games as far as soundtracks go, and it's just crazy to think that those guys are done, like there's
just out of nowhere, just
it's like just Kaja Soze gone. It's difficult for me to put into words, because one thing is like I was never a massive Daft Punk fanboy, but I also really appreciate their music.
Mm.
I mean, you always knew they were there.
Yeah.
And you always listened to their stuff.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things like for me where when you know how much they've done for it's mixed. It's a mixed bag of emotions because when you know how much they've really done for the video game community, you go like, hell yeah, well done. But at the same time, you're like, please don't go. Just, don't leave me.
I mean, it's been what, almost 30 years?
Yeah, they're
93,
28 years is what they put on their video. Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, I think they started in 93.
Yeah. That's such a long time for anybody, for any kind of musical act. I mean, we've all kind of done music here. Like, we know shit don't last, like, ever.
Nope.
Like, the only ones that do are the true greats, honestly.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I would definitely classify Daft Punk as one of the true greats.
Absolutely. Top 10 all-time best everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially for us, since they've been with us pretty much our whole fucking lives.
Literally.
Like, we get to see, and then we see it in, and it's just like, damn, that's a chunk of my life right there. That's just finally over.
Yep. That's going to be our midlife crises, whatever, plural of crises.
Oh yeah, when we hit 40 or 50, we're just going to be listening to Daft Punk like, this is what it could have been.
I know exactly what Joe's going to do. He's going to buy an 88 Lincoln Town Car. He's going to put subs in it and then just bump Daft Punk the entire time. That's exactly what he's going to do for his midlife crisis.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh man. And no one understands anything about what you just said, but oh man.
But just mark my words. Whenever, we're inevitably still streaming in the year, well, I guess that's what, 15-ish years from now, probably, when you're going to go through that. So
Stop.
I already predicted it. I'm going to be there with the camera.
Yep.
Stop.
No.
15 years is going to go by so fast.
Yeah. Put it in perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy's going to be 17.
He's going to be getting ready to go to college or go wherever. He's going to be out of high school, almost out of high school. And you're going to be old as fuck.
Man, we got real deep today, didn't we, chat? So anyway, let's move on to...
We just ruined Joe's whole fucking life.
Yep. So Anderson, I think our next topic, and we've kind of been touching on this in the recent podcasts.
Y'all got me fucked up right now.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
It's okay, Grandpa.
Love
we'll
you.
keep going.
That's the thing though. I'm the oldest out of all three of us. I don't care if I have Sam beat by 2 months. I'm the oldest out of all three of us. I'm gonna be 30 this year. 30.
Yep.
Dude.
Yeah, bring the back pains. Let's go.
They're already there.
Yeah, bro.
They're already there.
They've been there.
That's fair. I already have them too.
I could show everybody videos and pictures of all the reasons, band related that is. This isn't X-rated, but all the reasons as to why my back hurts, and I did some stupid stuff on stage. So I'm not setting myself up for success. I'm just saying that now.
Maybe that'll be a future podcast.
My 20.
Yeah, Joe finally goes into a wheelchair.
Yeah. It'll just be called Trip Down Memory Lane.
Back pain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No more back pain. That one works too. But anyways, before we make him go in his feelings anymore, let's go on to the actual topic at hand. Which tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about indie games, especially in relation to the larger industry as a whole, because we've been kind of touching on that here lately. I mean, we last week we talked about Valheim and all the crazy hype that's been getting, and then of course not too long before that we're talking Among Us. I mean, there's been a lot of indie games that have really been, kind of coming to the forefront here. And I mean, there's no denying, indie games are the future. And so, I mean, we're just here to talk about that. And if you guys have any input on this, definitely drop it in the chat or in the comments down below, because we definitely want to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yes.
Great
yes,
input.
Yes.
Great input, Joe.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that all the input we got there? Yep.
Yeah.
Let me stare at the ceiling real quick.
No, I was just pulling up my list of indie games. I just moved y'all up, so now I'm like staring up the sky, like, hey guys, how's it going?
That's why I don't use my TV for the monitor on the stream.
I keep my shit
it's like I
grounded.
don't want to be sitting here like, hey. Like,
Yeah, no, my neck hurts like that, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I keep y'all shit grounded.
That's fair. I mean, I solely did it to be able to pull Steam up, so that way I could have titles. Now I'm moving y'all back. Hey, look at this. This is called being prepared. There we go. No, no, indie games, man. Like I said, we talked about Valheim, and
oh, I think he froze.
I was about to say, great commentary.
Okay, you're back now. You're back now.
My computer went, hold on, wait a second.
It's probably your internet.
But no, like when you really think about, very, very true. It's very possible. When you think about indie games, you know, it's difficult to look at it from the standpoint of how you would like your high marketed games. Because just like Valheim, like these games don't get the publicity unless they pop off.
Yeah.
You know, these games aren't getting massive publicity that you see on, you know, GameStop windows, or you see on, you know, any kind of like marketing banner. Like, you know, for those of you who may not know, like, you know, when you're searching through the internet, you know, the internet's constantly listening to what you're saying because it's built to make it more, you know, personal to you.
Yeah. I mean, Google at its core, and a lot of people don't know, is an advertising company. They're not a search engine. Yep. They're not like, I mean, you know, now there are a million other things, but at its core, that's all it is.
I'm gonna pull a line. I'm gonna pull a line from Anderson real quick. I could go into a lot of that, but I don't want to go into the technical side of things.
Yeah.
But no, that's literally my career in a nutshell. That's exactly what I do day in and day out. But you know, the biggest thing is, when you look at it from this standpoint, Google's constantly listening, you know, Microsoft's constantly listening, whatever search engine you're using, the internet's constantly listening to make it a more personal experience to you. That way, like, you know, if you enjoy, you know, just spitballing three things: video games, cooking, and hiking. If you enjoy those three things, the things that you see more ad-based related, or, you know, banner-based related, with, you know, information coming up like, hey, here's some awareness to let you know this game's coming out, or hey, here's some awareness to know that we just dropped this brand new line of hiking boots. You know, those kind of things, you see those because the internet's built like that. For indie games, though, unless an indie company goes and structures a campaign to make sure that they're targeting these people, you're not going to hear about it.
Nope.
At all.
Nope. You actually got first for this.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see a bunch of ads for, like, if there's a Call of Duty release, like when Warzone's getting ready to drop a new season. What do you see plastered everywhere? Warzone ads, literally. Get ready for the new season dropping soon. Blah, blah.
Double XP on Monster, double XP on Mountain Dew. Shut the fuck up. I just want a fucking Mountain Dew.
And you know, it's funny you say that. It's actually that it goes that far as well. Is, you know, when you have connected TV stuff as well, like if you have Hulu, Disney Plus, well, anything that runs ads, even Amazon Prime, you know, whatever it is that runs ads, if you have an ad base that you're using, like a free version or a discounted version of that, those ads that you're seeing are generated because that's something you looked for at some point. And I'm sure, you know, people always know the stuff about Facebook where they're like, oh, if I say it enough, the Facebook's gonna hear me and put it as an ad.
That's more,
but that's how that shit works.
And that's more exactly Google, honestly. Like, because I mean, like, you know, we have, like, at my house, for example, I have Google Homes all across the house, and so, like,
same.
You know, my fiance and I could be talking about something, and then we see an advertisement for it like 5 minutes later. I mean, it's that quick. I mean, they don't fuck around with that kind of shit.
Now, I want to say this. I do want to trail off for just a second on saying this, and then wrap back to our topic, of course. But a lot of people assume that that's just like imposing on people's privacy. But in reality, it's actually built. The actual, you know, brain of it is built to give you an opportunity to find something at, you know, a discounted rate. Like, say for instance, I'm looking for a brand new controller. Like, you know, oh, let's just say this, you know, this doesn't fit me anymore, and I want to go to an Elite controller, whatever the hell they're called, at whatever point in time. Let's say I want to upgrade, and I'm talking about controllers, and I'm telling my wife, hey, you know what? I would love to get a new controller. Well, the purpose behind it, the brain behind it, computes it as, okay, let's find the best possible solution for him to find a controller. That's what it's built for. Is it creepy as hell? Without a doubt.
A bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's what it's built for. So, but wrapping this back, you know, you look at it from indie titles, and indie titles don't get that kind of exposure.
No.
Nope, not at all.
it really makes it difficult because, like we said, you see Warzone stuff like Anderson. You made a point. You see ads all over connected TV for, get double XP, buy a bag of Doritos and a Mountain Dew. If you chug it all in one sitting, then guess what? You get double XP for a month. Like, whatever.
Gotta love those gamer stereotypes right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you never see that for games like Valheim or I'm gonna throw it back. Like another big title that got that was a hit with VR, Super Hot. Things like that. You don't see those things anymore. You don't see those for those companies because it just gets bottlenecked to the big names.
Yeah.
You never saw it with like a Super Hot or like another one. I even put another one out that's at the same time, Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Really, a lot of the VR titles.
I will say Beat Saber did get a little bit more, only because it was kind of the revolutionary aspect, because they were putting Beat Saber like arcade games in different places, and so like the more they built up, the more they were able to market it. But they didn't market it to any degree as what the big name companies were.
Well, that and also and it was pretty early on that Beat Saber came out. So like a lot of the VR headset companies started using that as like an example of stuff that you can do. And so that was just like, what was that game with the lightsabers that you hit the boxes?
Star Wars?
Yeah, basically. So yeah, you saw a little bit extra on Beat Saber, but still, to your point, you're correct in that.
And that's, I mean, again, it comes down to the point of if an indie game really wants to pop off, if they want any kind of coverage, they have to pop off.
Yeah.
Like Among Us. Among Us is a prime example. Among Us was around for 2 years before, and all it took was one streamer, Courage, to go, there's this game out there.
Yeah.
And took off.
And Steam, to give Steam a little bit of credit, they do try. So they have like their whole like early access page and indie page and everything like that. So they don't just prioritize the top stuff. Now they still do that so that Steam can also get a chunk of that advertising revenue. But it's
marketing and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean they have to do it. I mean let's just be fair. But I mean Steam is probably one of the only platforms I can think of that really tries to highlight at least some of the small indie developers creating these games.
I would say on that one too, a little bit of correction on that one. They were the first ones to do it, but after the success and everything that they found, Microsoft and Sony have started doing it as well.
I was going to say,
now if you go on their stores, you can see indie games being like on front page and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're totally right on that. But I'm saying like Steam, I'd say is probably the only one that does it to that kind of extent. Like, Microsoft and Sony do it, but like I can't really think of games that go on there that really end up having any kind of success personally. If I'm wrong, definitely, either you guys tell me or, y'all tell us in the chat or in the comments for sure.
No, I think you're completely right, because even with the way they're doing it now, it's only like indie games that they have backed or helped develop and stuff like that. Like when Xbox Series X came out and they released, and they were talking about all the games they had on there, and they were trying to highlight indie games. It was only ones that were made by companies they were like affiliated with or had partnerships and stuff with. So yeah, Steam definitely goes farther in the aspect of promoting indie games, whether they're affiliated or not.
Yeah,
I would say.
Oh yeah, and it's funny, sometimes sometimes a lot of people don't differentiate between what indie is compared to mainstream, because you see a game pop off and you start to think like, oh well, if I'm seeing plushies and t-shirts and shit being made for this clearly isn't an indie game. But like Among Us, prime example, like I said, it's still an indie game. It's an indie based title that didn't get any coverage until later on, and that was because people started playing it. We've played games that were indie in our challenges. Phasmophobia, big one there. Pacify, we did that in Spooktober. What else have we done? I'm fairly certain In Silence is an indie game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, you see a lot.
Wasn't Move or Die?
Move or Die is, I think that's an indie game as well.
I'm not sure on that one.
It
feels indie,
sure
but it might be a larger. Anyway, we don't have to look it up or anything like that. But
I was about to start looking.
That's why he said it. Just shut your ass down.
Yeah. No, we don't need to go off on a tangent on that.
But I'm curious to ask, what do you feel like? And I'm sure the answer probably be yes, but I just want to ask anyways. Do y'all feel that a lot of indie games get snubbed because they don't get the exposure?
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure you can probably go on Steam right now, go through their indie selection, and find some true gems in there that just aren't really played. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I mean, really, the only way you're going to get some traction is either if you just start popping off, or you start marketing, or you just get lucky, like Among Us.
Yeah. Because I've definitely seen that instance and everything like that. Like when I watch certain streamers and stuff like that, like let's say Moist Critical, and he goes through Steam and just goes through random games and stuff like that you can buy on there. There are some definitely hidden gems, but unfortunately they'll never pop off because they don't have the exposure needed to pop off.
Yeah, I was gonna say Among Us did have some success when it first came out. Like it had a decent number of players, but then like they kind of started falling off over time. But like it wasn't anywhere near what it is now. I mean, we're talking fractions of numbers, but it's still, they like through the Steam workshop were able to at least generate a little bit of success and revenue.
I mean, you could tell that, especially when it very early when it first started popping off. Like there were so many server issues because it couldn't handle the load.
Yep.
That's pretty much a prime example of being like, yeah, we didn't expect this kind of input or gameplay, so our servers aren't meant to handle this.
No, absolutely not. And hey, Mama Strega, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the podcast.
One thing I do notice is a lot of these big games, though, that are indie based, I should say, there are flashes in the pan. You'll see a lot of these titles come up and they'll be big for a week or two and then just drop off because another indie title drops. And I think that's a downfall for indie games, because the community for indie games is so big that you really have to put out something that's going to be revolutionary. As we were talking about with Valheim, Valheim did that with 5 people, and they put out something so revolutionary that this is going to carry on for a long time. The game is so in depth that it's going to carry on for a long, long time. And this is still early access. This isn't even a full game yet.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten a full game, so that means more's on the way. But that does show, like on the negative side, that indie developers have to put out something so revolutionary to stay relevant, because if they don't, it's ultimately going to backfire and they're going to just see a quick rise and a very abrupt downfall.
Yeah.
And then that game is just going to fall to the wayside. I feel like one that I saw that I actually I'd like to talk about. Anderson, you brought this up in Spooktober. It was a game we played, and I feel like the gameplay of this was good, but I feel like if they had done more with adding on new maps, maybe adding a bit more depth to the gameplay, Pacify would have been huge in the horror community. I feel like we would still see that we would have seen the surge continue, because that game is actually really good. It's scary as shit, but I just don't feel like games like that get enough credibility, only because there isn't enough being put out. And I think that's also where a downfall comes to play, is they just don't have the ability to put out that much that quickly. Like, that goes back to what we were saying last week of, you've got a team of 3,000 devs. They can crank out stuff left and right. They can crank out updates weekly. When you have small team devs, that is a negative downfall, is they just can't put out the content fast enough. Among Us,
because it's only a few people working to get that update or get that game in a playable area or get it updated to what the players want and stuff like that. Whereas larger companies have like 1,000+ people working on it. They can get it done, varying any extra circumstances or anything. They can get it done within 24 hours.
Yeah. And you see that far too often. Among Us, we've been waiting on a new map for how long? I just know with Valheim, this does continue to go on the rise of how quickly they can put stuff out, or at least put out a full game. Like, indie games are amazing, and I know like there's one streamer or / YouTuber who Anderson and I watch all the time. Sam, I don't know if you do or not, but Markiplier plays indie games all the time.
All the fucking horror games.
Yeah, and honestly, like, what's the segment called? 3 Scary Games, I think it's what it's called.
3 Scary Games.
Yeah, and he plays horror indie games all the time. And a lot of the games that I go play in horror, like in the horror genre, are because I find them per his YouTube. You know, that's huge for indie developers to be able to have that kind of exposure, because that's somebody who has millions upon millions upon millions of people watching his YouTube channel consistently. And, you know, that's a big help. And that, you know, that's where you see a lot of that come from. But
yeah, and like even with that, because I will say, since we're using Markiplier, like one of the games on there that he played was an indie game that he helped establish a, like, I wouldn't say cult, but like a base following would be SCP.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Explain.
Take two. Oh god, okay, SCP is a kind of a horror game where you're hired by this company that is identifying and investigating various mutant, I would say, life forms or aliens or horror monstrosities, and you're like a bodyguard at night, and you gotta go through and lock them all up and check them all up. But they all have different various powers and abilities and stuff like that can kill you. So your job is to go through, lock them up, and try and survive the night. Basically, it's basically Five Nights at Freddy's, but a lot more involved in depth and with a lot more story.
Gotcha. Okay.
Also, one game we completely missed in the indie genre that had an enormous rise to fame and a very abrupt fall. I say abrupt, but
I was about to say, you about to say Fall Guys?
I'll give him some credit. Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Fall Guys was, again, a title that was
just appeared out of nowhere,
under the radar. It was clearly built for kids, and exploded into the market. And then, of course, you know,
Among Us came along and completely ruined any steam they had.
Yeah, Among Us is like, by the way.
Well,
also, by the way,
we
still exist.
Yeah, their model wasn't sustainable, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you can come up with new challenges and stuff like that, but at a certain point,
it gets boring.
It gets very repetitive. I mean, you know, there's nothing really to spice that up. So that was partially their, you know, just the fault of their own system. But
well, I think, I mean, if you look at it for that game, you know, speaking on how the gameplay was built, it was more so in the concept of mindless gameplay. You know, mindless competitive gameplay where you're in a lobby with a bunch of other people. It's you know, it's not like your normal battle royale. They I'll give them credit. You know, they broke the mold when it comes to battle royale, because battle royale, when everyone thinks of that, they think Warzone, Apex, PUBG, Fortnite, you know, things of that nature there. But you look at it from the same point, this is still considered battle royale because it's you versus everyone else. Even your friends. You could squad up with 3 other people and drop in, and guess what? You're still against them.
Yeah.
You know, you're not on the same team. You can help each other get to the end, but only one person's going to walk away with the crown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, push comes to shove. If it was me and Joe in the game, I'd rip them apart and just keep going for the crown.
If it was what was that? What's it called? Hexfall or Hex, whatever it is.
Oh god, the fucking platforms.
Yeah, guaranteed I'm running in front of you the entire time. Just
guaranteed I'd probably already be dead before Joe even found me, because I fucking suck at that mode.
There's a few games I hear Anderson rage to, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
I'll own it, because fuck that shit.
It's fair.
Did you guys ever play?
Just give me Fall Mountain. I'll take that one.
Yeah. Did you guys ever play Cluster Truck?
Yeah, I never played it, but I did watch it. I watched some gameplay of it before.
Yeah, so that one
shit was fun.
I was kind of going to use as an example of another one that, you know, kind of only had so much to offer. Like, it had plenty of levels and everything, but what kind of is keeping that one semi-alive is the speedrunning community, because that one's a very good game to speedrun. And there's a lot of like indie titles, like you'll see, like if you ever watch like AGDQ or SGDQ, any of the GDQs really, you'll see a lot of like more like smaller indie games on there too. Like there's a whole block for that.
Yeah.
And I mean, so that's just like another one that I wanted to bring up. It's a fun game. You should play it.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because with the indie community and the indie games and everything like that, it's become so I wouldn't say well known, but so recognized and everything like that, that indie has kind of lost the meaning of what it is, like the name of it as well. Like indie games used to be known for like under the radar, like small developers and stuff like that, which it's still known for. But over the time with everybody getting less pleased with big game companies and everything like that, indie game companies and indie games have kind of lost what they were actually stand for, and they're kind of taking the place of like, well, not taking the place, but they're kind of coming up alongside of big corporation companies because people can rely on indie games more than, say, a big title like Anthem. That would be a good one right there.
Yep. Now, I'll say indie games. I mean, indie games as a whole. Well, the one thing we have to remember is a lot of indie games aren't built like games where we play from mainstream corporation. These games are built with one track story or an overall overarching story, but it's A to B, and then there's a bunch of other different dots that you can start at around A. Like it's usually A to B, and as indie games have evolved, we see this new concept popping up where they're starting to add in layers because they're taking time on these games. These games that you see that are indie based that are actually successful are the ones that have taken time to really develop what they want in the game. If you've got guys who go in there and make a game, guys and ladies who can go make a game quick, and they can put it out, and it probably is fun. I've played some that I've beaten in 30 minutes and it was fun. Yeah. I've even played something I've beaten in 15 minutes because it was just a story. Like you're basically following a horror story, and it's terrifying to play, but nonetheless, it's still just a story, and that's what's being told. But you are starting to see this almost like evolution to indie gameplay where they are building it to compete with these big titles. It's no longer just your big titles reign supreme, and of course this is a lot in the PC community because you don't see a lot of this in Sony with the PlayStation. You see some of it in the Xbox, but you see a lot more of it in PC because that's really kind of where the indie realm reigns supreme is in that field. Like I know I've played some indie titles on Xbox before, but they don't compare to what you get in the PC realm because PC, that these devs are taking a lot of time to involve themselves into the process and make sure that this game is built to top tier standards of what PC players are going to want.
Which is fine because they know the market they're working with. They're focusing in on that market and they're doing what they know best. And that's making games for PC.
Yeah, I mean, there's
exactly right.
No reason to break that, to stop that, honestly. Like, it's going to make money. It's going to put out some pretty good games.
True. It's very true. And I just, I hope as this evolution continues though, because this is just speaking from my perspective, I do hope as this evolution continues that we do still get those indie games where you can beat it in 30 minutes, and it's still fun to play. There's a lot of games out there that are built like that, and I personally love them because it's, if you want something quick, like you see a game's like $2 and you're like, the TLDR sounds pretty interesting on this. The description's giving me a little bit of juice to follow into this. Let's see what this is about. I'll drop the $2 on it. Why not? And then you play it. It's like, well, damn, that was actually really fun. Like you get that experience in those games because that's the way they're built. That's not everything has to have this multi-tiered like situation going on here where you can have your single player, multiplayer, off brand, missions or whatever you want to do. Like something could tell a story and have fun with it. And I mean, like for instance, one game that we definitely missed that's indie based that has multiple missions, but it's still kind of like a mindless storytelling, if you will, of how to get from point A to point B is Human Fall Flat.
I was just thinking of that
Human
one.
Fall Flat. Yeah, Human Fall Flat's one that it's built that way because the devs like they had great success with it, but they can continue building these maps to give you more story to new missions. You're kind of going through and you're like, how the hell do I beat this? And it's not some rapid paced game. It's kind of hilarious in most concepts, but games like that are just fun. It takes away the premise of like you see a lot of these competitive games of like COD, Siege, Apex, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter if it's multiplayer, battle royale, or anything, but there's a lot of competitive games out there and a lot of big name games out there that are being pushed by big title companies. But when you have a game like Human Fall Flat like that, where it's just you're a clay dude or chick who's just trying to make it through the world, like,
yeah,
it's pretty funny.
Most hilarious way possible.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. I've seen a YouTuber that I watch a lot of is Sam Tabor, and he has Sam Tabor Gaming. He's a skateboarder, but he also does a lot of gaming stuff. And one of the games he does a lot of, one of the games he does a lot of is Human Fall Flat, and it's hilarious. He's also big. Another title, Descenders.
Oh yeah,
yep.
He does one of the. He does that as well.
When we actually played on this channel.
Yeah. Yes, we have. If you go way back. That
was one of the originals, I think, right?
That was one of the very first challenges. Yeah.
Yep.
One of the very first challenges we did. Yep. I remember in that episode, I talked a big game before we played that.
Yeah, I remember this.
And we get into the easiest level, and I came in dead last, and they were like,
and he fucked it up, and we were just like, bruh, you sure?
I mean, that's because
they were just looking at me like.
I mean, we all know Joe's just trash at video games, so you know.
I mean, yeah, but it was like absolute abhorrent trash when he did it. We were just like, bro, we'll let you take a second take because that was just hard to watch.
Yeah.
yeah. And it was funny too because like at the end they were like, y'all got mad at me because y'all were like, you're throwing, dude, you're throwing this. I'm like, no, I'm not. They're like, then do it again, hardest level. I'm like, bet.
And he did it fucking perfect.
I stuck it on it perfectly, got to the end and won it, and I was just like, drops controller. Good night.
And we were just like, you know what? We accept that more than that abhorrent shit that we saw beforehand.
I'm not good at mini games.
He's not good at backing up his talk, is what he's saying.
But the games I am good at, I'll back it up if I have to.
Yeah, then he'll be fucking trashing them for the first run.
yeah. I really still to this day don't know what happened to me on that one. I was just like, I remember the first round, I'm just sitting there kind of thinking to myself, like, what are you doing? There's a camera on you right now, dude. You got to do better than this. What's going on?
Yeah, all of us were sitting there like, what are you doing?
Maybe it was just performance anxiety. I mean, it could be it. Because, I mean, if that was one of your first ones, I mean, you're getting ready, trying to, put out a product or like, with the gaming bunch. I mean, just you're like, oh man, I've been talking all this game shit. Now I got to back it up on camera for everybody to see if I backed it up or not.
Every male's worst nightmare.
Yep, exactly.
That's a very fair statement. A very fair statement. Any other titles y'all can think of?
Well, I mean, we glossed over one that was. I mean, we touched on this in the Valheim episode. Mama Strike is in the chat. Oh, Joe, do you have performance issues? But anyway. Wait, hang on. Where is it? Is it this one? No, hang on. It's one of these. Nope.
It just fucking left.
There it is. Yeah.
Hey, beloved Naruto on his ass.
Wait, is it this one? No, hang on. Well, I mean, yeah, that one works too.
Fucking roasted.
Damn! What? That's what we needed. That's exactly what we needed right there.
All right, but anyway, one that we kind of glossed over that we touched on in Valheim that saw a meteoric rise and is now the most, like, the number one selling game of all time. Any guesses?
Minecraft.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Minecraft. Yeah.
I was gonna throw a guess out there. I was gonna be wrong. I would have been wrong.
Pro gamer here, boys.
I was gonna
even though I have not touched Minecraft once in my life.
No.
But Minecraft though, like, dude, they just do everything with that game.
Oh yeah, it was the ultimate sandbox. Is exactly what it is. Because I mean now now you have like servers of like battle royales, hide and seek, prop hunt. Like I mean like there's basically the sky's the limit as to what kind of game you can play within the game. And that's the most impressive part of it. And originally it just started out being, you know, like, hey, I'm gonna build this house. And then eventually they added in, like, you know, actual reason to be in this area. You know, they added in the mobs and survival mode. Because originally, like, when I first started playing it, there was no survival mode. All it was,
it was just Minecraft.
Was just building. That's it. Like, unlimited resources, you know, anything like that. And now it's just evolved. And of course, you know, Notch sold Mojang to Microsoft, right? And
did they?
Or it sold to somebody. I want to say it was Microsoft.
Pretty sure it's Microsoft.
Yeah,
because it's on their store.
Yeah, and for a huge amount of money. But you all right over there, Joe?
I'm trying to think, like I performance anxiety.
I may need the blue pill over here.
I'm turning 30, not 50. Okay, like,
you sure about that?
100%. 100%. We're good. We're good over here. So, but what? Hang on. So I'm confused. I genuinely didn't know that. I was more so giving the look of, like, I didn't know they sold, and more so why.
Notch wanted out.
You have.
So the guy that, like, created the game, you know, was head of Mojang at the time. He was just like, all right, this is kind of where I want to stop. And so he sold to Microsoft, and Mojang as a studio kind of restructured a little bit. You know, so now, you know, Minecraft is owned by Microsoft, but Notch is off doing his own thing, fucking multi-millionaire, like, easily. Like, I mean, he bought, like, one of the biggest mansions in Hollywood, I think. But
yeah, I mean, that's why we have Minecraft. That's why you have two versions of Minecraft. You can get the Java one or the one with Microsoft.
Yeah. Yeah, that's throwing it back a little bit. But, yeah.
Well, that actually makes sense, because I actually always wondered why. I never looked up why, but I always wondered why there was two different versions of it.
Mm-hmm. And now there's also Minecraft with RTX, which has all the ray tracing stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
wait, no, that's right. That's right. Juice actually, showed me that a long time ago when we were talking about doing a Minecraft challenge. Mm-hmm. He showed me that, and it looked amazing. Yeah. I was like, damn. But no, that's it. That's almost a game that's expected to be at that level, though, because of how long they've been doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And how successful they've been. Not on the money side, but just on the gameplay. Like, that's a game you would expect to be top tier. Like, nobody's competing against them at that point, because they just put out...
yeah, because it's fucking Minecraft.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't even have to provide a reason. You just say it's fucking Minecraft, and everybody's like, oh, yep, that makes sense.
And they get it. They get it. I mean, well, that also goes to the level of what Minecraft does. You know, when you see for marketing stuff they have, and also for retail stuff they have, like, it's just like Fortnite. You can see Minecraft stuff everywhere. You walk into any big box store, Minecraft stuff in the toy section. You walk into any kind of collector's location, Minecraft stuff. Like, it's huge how big it is.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they were even able to infiltrate the most closed off and idiotic company of gaming, Nintendo, and get into Smash. So
yeah. And so I'm looking at Twitch right now at, like, the recommended channel. So it's got, like, some of the biggest people. Number one, like, top recommended is a channel. It's Rambo Live. I'm not sure. I'm assuming Rambo, but playing Minecraft right now to 87,000 people. Another one, Tfue, actually is playing Minecraft for some reason, but that's another 12,000 people just about right there. Like, 3 of them actually, and like the recommended channels are all Minecraft.
It's fucking Minecraft, my man.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, you know, it's become that level, which is impressive for, you know, small indie developer to have this literal meteoric rise to now being the #1 most sold game of all time.
Well, speaking of content creators who do that as well, one of the biggest name content creators and philanthropists in the world, Mr. Beast, does his gaming channel. He has a metric ton of Minecraft videos. That dude's putting out Minecraft videos like crazy. He pulled in Dream, who, if I'm not mistaken, Dream is considered the best Minecraft player in the world. He pulled in Dream to do a 1v100 tournament. The first person to kill Dream won like 10 grand.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Like
all his gaming challenges are pretty much in Minecraft.
Yeah, but you think about that, like, that's Minecraft. That's not Warzone. That's not Apex. That's Minecraft.
Yeah.
8-bit build a bitch Minecraft. like
can we get that as a tagline?
8-bit build a bitch. Come and get your bitch.
Hey, Microsoft, Mojang. There's a new trademark right there.
Respect.
You want your waifu? Come down to 8x bit, build a bitch.
This boy start adding words in. 8x build a bitch. But no, but you look at it from this standpoint, just that's the level that they're at, and nobody is competing with them. Like Among Us had a very brief stint where they were competing with them for views.
That ended quickly.
Nope. I mean, Minecraft is just always dead consistent with, having high numbers. And
Minecraft will always be there.
Yeah, it'll be there forever.
And Sam, I think you said it. It's because of one very, very important factor. And we said it earlier. It's a game that has it all. It's a game that has that standard. There is nothing you can't do in that game. You want to just go run a build, go ahead and do it. You want to do that on the base mode of the game? Fine, by all means. You want to download some mods and have fun with it? Go ahead and have a blast. The sky is the limit with that game.
Have you seen the people that build computers and shit in there? Like somebody built a quad core processor in Minecraft, which is just insane.
Yeah, at that point, I just wonder when I see that, I'm like, how much time do you have on your hands? Like,
a lot, apparently.
Too much.
Yeah.
It was like, I want your time.
Yeah, too much is what that is. Too much. Well,
I can't have a real computer. Let me build a quad pro processor in here with an i10.
Could you imagine?
And a 3080.
I fully expect one day to go, on Reddit or something, and the top post is going to be something about super ultra mega nerd in Minecraft couldn't afford a better PC, so he built one in Minecraft and is now playing these AAA games.
He's just sitting there playing fucking Doom Eternal on a Minecraft PC. Through his fucking phone. He's just like, it works.
Hey, do what you gotta do.
If it works, it works.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think that is a great spot to wrap this up on. Talking about Minecraft.
Yeah.
Because
ultimate end all be all. Yeah.
Why not end it with build a bitch? Let's go.
8-bit build a bitch.
8-bit build a bitch.
Coming to the TGB merch soon.
Don't have all the emotions and shit. It's just build a bitch. Yeah. That's all we want.
Jeez. Well, on that note,
but an 8-bit bitch.
Yeah, fuck them pixels.
It's got to be an 8-bit.
But deep in the pixels right there, boy.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us this evening. Thank you again to everyone who participated last night and who came to hang out with us last night in the very first Challenge Series tournament. That was a blast. Be on the lookout for more in the future. Of course, because we had the tournament this weekend, we dropped our newest episode of our challenge, a rewind today, which is us in Valheim. So go check that out on YouTube right now. As we wrap up, hop over there. It's live for you, so go check that out. Just go search the Gaming Bunch in YouTube. And of course, if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, that bell icon. If you haven't hit that follow button here on Twitch, go ahead and smack that for us as well. And we'll catch you in the next one. But boys, I think we're out.
I think so.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Later, you degenerates.
Peace.